Most men are waiting for permission to lead. They're waiting for the promotion, the title, the tap on the shoulder that finally says it's your turn. And while they're waiting, someone else steps up, makes the call, and takes the opportunity that was sitting right in front of them. That's the truth nobody in your office or your industry is going to tell you. Leadership is not assigned, it's not given, and it's not something you earn with seniority alone. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to lead right now, wherever you are, without waiting for anyone to hand you a title. Hi, my name is Denney, author, entrepreneur, and business strategist. I work with men who are serious about building something real, whether that's a business, a career, or a life that actually reflects what they're capable of. One of the most common things I see holding capable men back has nothing to do with their ability. It has to do with a belief. The belief that leadership is assigned, that it comes with a badge, a title, a formal promotion. That's not how leadership works. And today I'm going to break that down so you never use it as an excuse again. What I've seen consistently working with entrepreneurs and business leaders is that the men who eventually get the titles they were aiming for were almost always already operating at that level before anyone handed them that role. They weren't waiting for permission. They were already leading, and the title caught up to the behavior every time. So let me break down exactly what that looks like. Here are 3 things I want you to understand about leading without a title. Now, my first point is this: start before the title. Leadership is behavior, not rank. Think about every leader you've respected in your life. I want you to actually think about them. Were you waiting to see their org chart before you decided to follow them? Or were you checking their job title? Of course not. You followed them because of how they showed up, what they did, the decisions they made, the way they treated people. Leadership is a set of behaviors, not a position. And here's what those behaviors look like before you have the title. First, you see the problem no one is fixing, and you fix it. Not because someone asked, not because it's in your job description, not because you'll get credit, but because it needed to happen. You saw it, and you're the one who can do something about it. That's leadership. Second, you make the call that no one wants to make, the meeting that needs to end, the uncomfortable conversation that's been avoided for 2 weeks, the decision that's been sitting on the table because nobody wants to own it. You walk up to it, you own it, and then you move. Third, you show up for your people even when it doesn't benefit you. You stay late when your team is behind. You give recognition without being prompted. You advocate for someone in the room that they're not in. These moments compound. They build something. And here's the business case for starting now. Before the title exists, organizations, the good ones, don't promote the man who's waiting for the role. They formalize what's already happening. If you want the title, start building the track record. The title follows the behavior. It always does. Now, my second point is this: the real currency, how trust makes you a leader before you have authority. This is the piece most men completely miss. They think leadership is about power, authority, the ability to tell people what to do and have them do it. But the most effective leaders that I've ever seen around didn't lead through authority. They led through trust. And trust is built in a very specific, very intentional way. Consistency. You do what you say you're going to do every time. Not most of the time, every single time. When you become that man that people don't have to wonder about, the man who's going to show up, follow through and deliver, they stop carrying the mental load of managing you. They stop having to check on you. They relax into trusting you. And people follow the man they trust without being asked to. Accountability. When something goes wrong on your watch, and it will, you own it fully. No deflection. Extreme ownership. No pointing at circumstances. No, the team dropped the ball. You don't say that. You say, that was mine. Here's what I did wrong. Here's what I'm fixing. Here's how it won't happen again. The man who can own a failure without falling apart is the man people bet on to lead, because they know that he won't disappear when things get hard. Then we have vision. People follow men who can see further than they can. You don't need to be smarter than everyone in the room. You need to have thought further ahead than everyone else in the room. What's the goal? Why does what we're doing today matter next year? What does the end look like? When you can answer those questions clearly with conviction, people orient to you, not to your title, to your clarity. Start building your trust account today, because when it's full, the authority you've been waiting for becomes a formality. The people in the room already follow you. The title just makes it official. Now we have point 3, the proof. Leading without authority is the harder test, and it matters more. Here's what I want to leave you with. Leading without a title is actually the harder path, and that's why it carries more weight. Anyone can manage people when they have formal authority. The org chart does have to work for them. The real test, the test that separates the leaders from the managers, is whether people follow you when they don't have to, whether your peers respect your opinion when you're not the boss, whether your team shows up for you when you're not the one signing their paychecks. That's not authority, that's influence. And influence is built, not given. This applies whether you're an entrepreneur building a team from scratch, a professional trying to advance, or a man trying to lead his family. The principle is the same. You don't wait, you lead, you demonstrate, you build trust through action, not through announcements. The title comes for the man who was already leading every time. Now, here's your action step before you close this video. Think of one place in your life right now, in your business, your team, your family, your community, where leadership is needed and nobody's stepping up. The gap is your opportunity. Not later, not when you're promoted, not when you're feeling ready. Right now, step into it, own it, and let your actions make the case. Now, if this hit hard, this hit home, make sure you subscribe. I put out content like this every week specifically for men who are serious about building something real. Drop a comment below. Tell me where you're going to apply this. I read every single one of them. I truly, truly want to know. Remember, learn, lead, and live to your full potential. And I'll see you in the next video.